Ready, under lights, under action, under camera!
You forgot the fan in the chamber!
Meanwhile, behind the facade of this innocent-looking bookstore, superstition, fear, and jealousy.
Look, I know the supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen, but it does happen.
Who is this irresistible creature who has an insatiable love for the dead?
Why you were here.
Dance with me. Why you were here.
kill the music, and we are live and ready to go. And this time, of course, I have made sure that I have not muted myself from the stream.
Hey, all right.
Unlike last game.
Yeah, I didn't get to hear the first part of it when I went back to watch.
Yeah,
But
that was my bad.
You have like your mic recording that you can like put on YouTube instead, right? Don't you have a version of it with your mic?
I do, but it was muted from the recording.
Oh,
so I'm pretty sure it's muted from that too. I haven't gone back to look, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Stinko.
So you guys were able to hear me, but nobody else. Oh well.
How long into the broadcast were you muted?
A little over an hour.
Yeah, because I didn't get on right away.
So thankfully the game ran a little bit longer than normal, so I'm only silent for about a third of the game.
I'm really surprised that we must not have had a lot of watchers last night.
No, that's okay.
I think we didn't, which is a shame because that was a good game.
That was a good game.
I know they're gonna wish they were there.
Well, we've got people that subscribe to the YouTube channel, so they can check it out there. So
good.
All right. To recap, you guys have invaded Blackout's secret hideout. You have gained some intelligence as to what's going on, some weirdness. You also have determined that he is aware of your presence, or at least somebody coming in. And you, where we last left off, you had just managed to free Sledgehammer when I believe the alarms were going off.
Right.
So you, where we pick up, you are all right outside his cell. You've obtained his sledgehammer at this point. Oh my God. What is everybody doing right now? As of right now, you still have a mental link to Minuteman. That was through Angler's character.
And we're all still cloaked by Lightbringer's powers, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
I will notify him that the klaxons are going off.
Okay. He responds back. It makes sense. We're seeing a lot of movement topside.
And
you
what
guys
was
ready
our
to do this?
What's our initial objective at this point? To try to take him down?
Yes.
Yep.
Showtime.
So Sledgehammer does not have any of his gear. Does he look like he was wearing any bits of like his superhero outfit that he normally has? Or okay.
I mean, it's beaten up some, but yeah, he was clearly in garb.
Okay. He obviously doesn't have his literal sledgehammer with him.
No, he does.
Oh, he does. Oh,
yes,
okay. Nice.
That wasn't stored far from the cell.
Okay,
remember,
cool.
it was a cell block, kind of like, as I described it, a little bit like the cell block you saw in Star Wars.
Okay, got it. Okay.
It was in a chest right off the cell, like in all the video games.
Closet.
Yeah.
But effectively, a glowing chest that lets you know that was a quest waypoint.
Yeah, we had to initiate a little pick lock mini game.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So then, from Hyperion's reconnaissance he did earlier, so we then know, or would we know then how to get to Blackout's literal lair where he is in his throne room? Okay.
Yep, you guys sure do.
Okay.
What's up, Davy Jones? Thank you for stopping in. You're here you're here for the big showdown.
Hola.
And as a reality check here, so those with us right now, well, so we don't have Minuteman with us,
No.
or like he's topside. Okay.
Yeah, he is topside. So it's all of you plus Sledgehammer.
Okay. And War Nurse is up topside with
Yes.
him as well. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Forgot I need like dice and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I actually remembered mine before game.
All right.
I have
so
my rolling order already figured out for the night.
Oh, for your dice?
Yeah, after last week or after last game.
Which
gotta
dice
keep
do
'em
I
off
want
guard.
to kill me tonight?
Okay. So, said to the team, it's now or never. We won't have a better opportunity to actually assault his location. However, he is with all of his lieutenants in one room. Are we ready?
Is there a floor above his room?
Is there, Jerome? Was I able to figure
No.
that out?
No.
No. It's a single room, nothing above.
What
Do
about
we
below?
know? Do we know how many lieutenants he has?
You guys actually know exactly how many are in there with him.
He's got.
It's all 5 of his lieutenants, right? There's Brute.
I'm pulling it up right now,
Coil.
but I believe that is the correct number. Oops.
Okay.
Passed it up. Hold on a sec.
That. Oh, I did.
Oh, that's the wrong file yet again. Back up and try that one more time. Aha! There we go. Yes, so it is Blackout. It is Brute, Coil, Intake, Headbanger, and Clave.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll need to remember that the room is not that large. At the same time, we will not have Shone's ability to teleport. There
Yeah.
are multiple individuals, Coil and Clave, who have technology, or no, redline that. That's Headbanger and Coil, who have technology. The rest seem to have actual superpowers, along with Blackout.
They gave us cuffs, right?
Yeah, we have cuffs.
We have a few cuffs.
Mm-hmm.
Each one of us has one cuff.
Yep, each
I
one of you
just hope
have a
that
cuff.
I'm not blocked from using my electricity, because if I'm blocked from that, man, we might be screwed.
The only thing that's been said so far about that is that I'm having problem putting people to sleep.
Oh, that was in character.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. With that said, it seems that they only have the anti-teleportation fields in effect. The rest of your powers do work, seeing as how you were able to short out this area earlier.
Okay,
However,
so
we're not sure what other type of technology they have available to them that could help them. We
right.
don't have the time to determine that.
So
Any
I
questions?
overheard something from the guards that were standing out front. I don't know if you guys have run into this yet, but did you see any sort of like guys being carted off in slave collars or something?
We did, yes. They have a tramway that they've created at the lowest level using the sewers.
Crap.
Yeah, the old subway line going out of the city.
How long ago did you see that?
15 minutes, perhaps less.
They say something about it being the last shipment
Yeah.
and that they were now evacuating the base?
They were planning on evacuating. However, it seemed that from that point in time, it would be another 30 minutes before the next tram would make it.
We do have someone on the other side preparing, or at least it's been relayed back to Minuteman about the other side of the tram.
So you've got more people here?
Not here, outside.
Well, that's what I mean. Can you get word to them to try and watch for that? Those people are about to be shuffled off of American waters or off American shores. I don't know
They
where exactly, but they're being taken out of here.
they've got people supposedly waiting at other ends of the tunnels.
Okay.
So hopefully they'll be able to intercept.
All right.
You're working directly with the Aegis Foundation in this endeavor.
Okay, well, at least somebody stepped up. So we're going to do this?
Do you have any further information about this base or about Blackout that could help us?
Outside of the fact that Blackout lives up to his namesake, I don't have much else.
What do you mean?
Well, I've gone toe-to-toe with Blackout several times so far. Blackout is your typical powerhouse. You know, the whole package, super strength, endurance, can heal pretty quickly. He also has the added ability of shadow manipulation. So he can quite literally make it dark and use those tendrils to quite a decent effect.
Have you seen any type of weakness that he's had before?
No.
Understood.
To my knowledge, nobody's been able to take him in so far. So I don't know of anybody who's gotten a lucky one shot in on him or whatnot.
When he does this shadow thing, how does he manifest it? What does it look like?
It emanates from his body.
And then what do they do?
It's an inky blackness. Or are you talking about the tendrils?
Yes.
They lash out and they can attack much like a squid.
Okay.
We need to focus on attacking him at ranged if possible. Lightbringer, your UV manipulation. Can you change that wavelength to generate flashes of visible light?
I haven't done that before, but I could try it. I was wondering if maybe mimicking his ability might throw them off somehow.
Mimic how?
Illusion.
Oh. I don't know. That's a good question.
Are any of our individual abilities directly affected by colder temperatures? I could attempt to bring down the temperature of the room. I know our suits accommodate and protect us to some degree, but I will be attempting to take this down as cold as I possibly can.
That might help with a couple of them, but that's not going to do squat against Clave, Blackout, or Brute. They're too physically resilient to that sort of thing, unless you can do it super quickly to like freezing levels.
I can generate some to where I don't think my ice manipulation would hold against their strength. But if I can take out a couple of the others potentially, I can focus on them to where we are dealing with less. I am not capable. Though I can take a hit. I could probably take a hit as well, if not better than most of us. However, my offense is not as effective.
With that said, Xenofreeze, I'd like you to be on support. Your main purpose will be not only to decrease the temperature of the room, but also to make the area under the lieutenants and Blackout slippery with a sheet of ice if possible. Oh, cool. Is that a D100?
Yeah.
The golf ball?
Yep.
Yeah,
I have mine.
And I believe we identified, besides Blackout, Coil is the next biggest threat. I am going to be trying to put him to sleep, even if it gives me a really bad headache.
I thought Coil might be with Coil and Headbanger. Maybe if we could disable their tech, that might help.
Joan, those two will be your
Coil is going
primary
to be
targets.
focusing on Lightbringer. I can tell you that much right now. Lightbringer, the last time we
did have that
butted
one
heads with him, she put him in the hospital.
I look different though.
Okay,
I don't know
well,
if you recognize me.
there's that.
If he does recognize you, you will need to make sure that you're defending against him and don't alter your targets to some other individual. As I mentioned, Shone can use her electrical attacks versus those with technology primarily. It would seem that that would be most effective against them to short out their abilities. Beyond that, the rest of us who can should attack enemies at range, since they are going to be on unstable footing from Xenofreeze's power. Simultaneously, I will use my photonic copies to create visual distractions for all of them, while at the same time perhaps using them for added targeting for the rest, aiming at my copies and shooting through them, since they don't sustain damage, but can be disrupted. Any further suggestions?
I have a question out of character. Did it feel worse the closer we were getting into the
base
whenever I try to put people to sleep, or is it was it about the same?
No, it was about the same. It didn't
Okay.
it didn't gauge based on distance as far as you could tell.
All right. I'm happy you knew where I was going with that thought.
The two guys' names that I'm going to be focusing on other than the flooring?
What do you mean?
So I'm not looking at Blackout. I'm not looking at the other two that Sledgehammer. I'm speaking out of character.
You're talking about
Blackout, Brute,
Coil
and Clave
Headbanger.
are probably the ones that are going to be the most resilient towards what it is that you're attempting to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the technological ones, Coil and
So there's Coil, Intake, and Headbanger that are left.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like, I forgot to write down what their powers did. I just remember
You're
Coil
about to
being
find out.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Let's do this. Follow me. And I lead the team to where the throne room is.
Okay. So as you exit the detention area, you can hear doors starting to shut throughout the base. You can hear as lockdowns are, going into effect. At this point, there are people that spot you, but they just run on by.
Sure.
They don't even do anything to you. They just like see you and keep running.
These are grunts?
Yeah.
We're not hidden anymore?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Do we see any other, like, slaves or kidnappees or anything else as we're making our way?
No, nothing like that. No, nothing like that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, then just keeping an eye out, making sure that nothing else, like a trap or something, gets the drop on us.
Okay, yeah. So you make your way straight to the throne room. It's got like this large open, doorway that's probably two, blast doors that are left open. And on the inside, you can see that Blackout is waiting there, on his, on his throne with the various evil henchmen surrounding him, kind of flanking him and tensing up a little bit as they see you guys come walking, and you can see a bay of computers behind him with look like they probably were manned at one point in time, but the seats that had individuals in them are now empty. Several monitors are still watching above ground. You can actually see that there's action going on above ground. There's some sort of fighting going up, several stories topside. As you can see, explosions and gunfire and whatnot, going off. It's popping off. It's going down. And he looks to all of you, as you enter. He says, "Well, the upstarts, you are not quite what I expected."
Whatever you expected, you should expect jail time.
Is Coil
Surrender now.
Sorry. While he's saying that, is Coil immediately identifiable?
Yeah, I'm basically he looks, although not pudgy, he looks similar to Doc Ock.
So I'm going to communicate
Doc
with
Ock
Minuteman.
would stand out in a crowd.
I'm going to reach out to Minuteman and say we're going to try and get him to monologue for a moment. Just to give him more time.
He's like, okay, do whatever you can. A little busy.
That's not in the script. You have to...
And so he's sitting from his throne, just kind of tapping his oversized fingers on the one of the armrests, and he says, "Just what exactly did you expect to accomplish today? Did you think you could walk in here and beat me?"
As a matter of fact, that's exactly what we think.
Yeah. I think so.
I live by the Star Wars motto, do or do not.
I'm starting to generate cold, focusing it on the other side of the room where they're at.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and give me a power check? Since it is range, you're using your psyche for targeting.
$75.
Okay. Not bad at all.
Nice.
So you are controlling the weather in this room and starting to bring down that temperature noticeably. You can start to tell that at this point there's a what's your power rank at this point?
For my cold generation?
Yes.
I was planning on spending some last time on that stuff, but if you'd allow me to step it up to 1, I had an EX16.
So it would be an EX20. But you have the +1 power shift because you're using your uniform. That puts it on RM30.
So RM30. Okay.
So with that, you can start to feel a noticeable chill in the room at this point.
At least everybody else can.
Uniforms are GD10 versus physical, energy, heat, and cold.
That they are.
Yep.
So in a pinch, you could go mountain climbing in those. And they would help.
18 against heat, cold, what?
Physical and energy attacks.
So they're insulated towards most of your common effects.
Ooh, so my endurance just got bumped up just because I'm wearing a suit then.
Not your endurance, no, but your ability to absorb damage. So it provides you a measure of protection against those things.
Gives you fortitude.
So I just don't have to utilize my endurance rating as much. Basically, right?
Your endurance is actually is just to endure. So that would be the effects of something if it had put you over the threshold. So, for example, if you were in the midst of heat exposure, just throwing it out there, randomly, your endurance is what you would use to stay conscious. This suit actually would protect you from limited amounts of the initial damage of that. So while you still might have problems with heat exposure, the actual damage, like the burning, or whatnot, you'd have a limited amount of protection from it.
So what's your ability to take a hit then? I thought that was partially under endurance.
No. That just means that you have well, it's endurance is for like long distance running, resisting the elements, holding your breath, so on and so forth. So it's not uncommon for people who have like the Hulk, who have superhuman strength, to also have a mass amount of endurance because they need it for the lifting of heavy objects and so on and so forth. For the protection of damage, you would need things like body armor, true invulnerability, that sort of armored skin, anklers. Rocket provides a limited amount of protection because he's encased in basically a blast sphere as he rockets himself off.
Okay.
Like Powdered Toast Man.
Sure. I have no idea.
Sorry, I know that's a very obscure reference in this day and age.
So then he looks to everyone there, and he says to Sledgehammer, and he says, "I would have figured you had already learned your lesson." And he's like, "Oh, I'm a slow learner. I apologize. Yeah, you're gonna have to remind me a couple times tonight. I think before I take the hint." So he chuckles. It's gradually getting colder, and so he looks to the others. He says, "I don't think there's anything left to say with the exception of gentlemen, would you please break these children and bring me their heads?" And they all jump into attack. Let's go ahead and roll initiative.
As he begins to say that, I am going to sleep coil.
Okay.
I was actually waiting specifically for that moment.
Sure.
What is
61?
What okay,
you're going to be rolling a d10.
both.
Just straight D10?
Just straight d10.
9.
Four.
That was you, Dale?
Yeah.
4?
10
Okay.
for me.
Oh, straight D10 for... Oh, 10. You. I guess that makes up for my... I'm already making it cold.
Brittany?
Dose.
And the low rolls start early.
Maybe I should test out my dice.
Yeah, warm them up a little bit.
Yep.
Right.
I do.
They're affected by the cold air.
Oh crap! It's bleeding into our reality.
Okay. So what did you roll, Justin?
61.
61. And that was against a what power rank?
My power rank for that
Well, for
is
the target.
46.
The target is your psyche.
For my psyche, that's going to be incredible 36.
Okay. So when we have a moment, we need to make sure we bump you guys up to the actual rank number, because that's going to affect your at least your health at this point. Okay, so you said what again? It's a 40. Psyche.
61.
61. Okay. All right.
The power is an amazing, and my psyche is incredible.
All righty. So as Coil lunges in, with his coils, throwing himself forward to attack, he hits the ground stumbling and just is completely out. At this point, Justin, you take 20 points of damage.
I had a feeling that was already coming.
As you can feel, because you have it placed on your arm, you can actually feel like it starts from your arm and cramps up your arm into like most of your chest.
Out of character, they have an anti-magic field, don't they?
You don't know.
I have to say, I stole my son's pencil, and it says wham, pow, kapow, zap, boom.
It was meant to be.
Nice.
How appropriate.
Yeah.
I did not even put that together till just now.
And what does that leave you at for health at this point?
I am at 44.
Okay. Yeah, with that sleeping, Angler's not looking all that great. He's looking kind of pale and his eyes are kind of sunken in. However, even though they jumped the gun, you guys were kind of edgy about it and ready for that initial conflict. So, Justin, you have put Coil to sleep as he tumbles to the ground. Derek, it is on you.
All right. So Coil went down.
Yes,
right?
he did.
And who looks the lesser of the two between Intake and Headbanger?
Define lesser.
Physically defensive. Because I can't. I mean, I'm not.
They look about
looking
the
at-
same. It's hard to tell. They're both above average in build, but they both tend to have a different look to them.
Oh, okay. But they're not the big.
Nope.
Like-
That is brute.
What was that again?
I didn't quite get that.
There's a direct quote from Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, then let's see.
Read my lips and smell my
I
breath.
guess I'm going towards Intake.
Intake, okay.
And so as far as my does he look like he's trying to do something with his hands? Is he
Nope.
like coming at us?
He's racing in and opening his mouth.
Oh.
Oh, that's right. He converts matter to energy. I guess. Something like that.
Encapsulate his head.
Okay. So go ahead and roll for your cold generation beam strike. It's going to go off of your agility to hit.
83.
Ooh. What's your agility?
Give up 6. So good 10. Does that go up with my suit?
No, just your ice generation. So typical 6?
Yep.
Okay, so that pops him right in the head. Poof. As he, is holding his head at this point, trying to figure out just what the heck happened. Shelly.
I'm going to get into a stance and shoot some electricity at them.
Okay. So, okay, so you are firing off a bolt of lightning. This is going to go off of your agility as well for striking purposes. Go ahead and roll.
I got a 93 on Unearthly.
Okay, that is a red result. Who were you targeting?
The closest one to me. Not the one that Exion is dealing with.
The only ones that aren't potentially close to you are Intake at this point, or not Intake, Coil and Blackout.
They're the only ones that are not close
Correct.
to us?
Mm-hmm. Nobody here's like a super speedster or anything that rushed, up close. So you can take your pick of whichever one's from there.
How big is this room?
Yeah.
The room is, let's see, size-wise, Probably, because it's easy to measure that way. It's probably about 20 yards deep, and about maybe 30 yards wide.
What was our health?
There's room to move, but with this many people and stuff flying around, it's going to be cramped.
Okay.
So is Exion actually on the dude, or he just encased him with ice?
He shot him with a bolt of ice.
Okay.
And caught him in the head.
I'm gonna hit. I'll hit the same guy with electricity.
Intake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Offhand, how do we figure our health? Because you were saying to bump up our abilities to the book score, like instead of like RM 26, it's RM 30.
Right.
Right. What's our health based on? So that way I can, because that would bump up my.
Your health is based on your first 4 stats. Face, fighting, agility, strength, endurance.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. Add their numbers together.
And just add those numbers together. Okay.
Yep,
So
and that is your health.
So my
You
health
said
is
we're
actually
using the
gonna
top
go
range?
up a couple points then. Cool.
I'm sorry. What'd you say, Justin?
You said we're using the top range for him,
No,
or the good 10.
Yeah, we're using the good 10. So whatever the number is for the column, rather than going in incrementally.
Right.
So if you have a remarkable, it's a 30. You have an incredible, it's a 40. If you have a good, it's a 10. If you have a monstrous, it's a 75. So on and so forth.
Yeah,
Okay.
We're essentially not using the range of numbers anymore.
Yes. Yeah, to make it easier. Okay. All right. So, hold on 1 second. Okay, with that, it's hard to tell because his head is encased in ice. But he screams as that lightning bolt cuts straight through him and he hits the ground.
Woohoo!
And he thought he could outdo me.
Freezer burn! What's up now?
That was intake, right?
That was intake, yes. So we are now at Dale and everybody else.
Okay. I will, let's see, now that intake is down, we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dudes, including Blackout. I'm going to generate, I'm just going to make it chaos for them. I'm going to create 3 copies per dude and have them just appear around them, just like blocking their view. And the goal of each copy is just to be in the bad guy's viewing range. So it's super tough for them to figure out anything.
Oil is still asleep, though, correct?
Give me a psyche check at this point. Your power can definitely handle it, but just give me a psyche check.
Okay.
Oil is still asleep at this point, though, right? So
we're right in the middle of combat, so you'll be able to check that next round.
100.
Oh, nice. Okay. So immediately all these copies start spawning off of you, like a major film budget or, a major blockbuster budget, CG film just, spitting off of you and, and starting to get up in their face to, act as distractions. All right. So with that, there is a loud thud as as Brute and Sledgehammer lock horns, like immovable objects basically colliding with each other. Just
the one he was bantering with.
What's that?
Is that the one he was talking with about?
No.
Didn't we teach you a lesson? No.
Nope.
That
was between him and Blackout, yeah.
So then, at this point, Blackout stands up from his throne, and you see tentacles lash or start reaching out at this point,
You said sledge and brute?
From Blackout.
No, sledge and
Yeah.
brute were...
Yes.
Yeah.
What happened to Intake? Is he...
He's down.
He screamed and hit the ground.
Okay. Is he, like, out cold?
You guys do not have the capability of analyzing anybody who's
Okay.
asleep or anybody who is knocked out at this
Okay.
point, unless
That's
you were
fine.
unless you are making the effort to run up and check.
Okay.
So just
No,
as an FYI,
that was my point with Coil. He's still on the ground, at least.
as of this point in the combat
Yeah.
round, yes.
Yeah.
But again, if this is mid-combat, you guys don't have the capability of hyper-analyzing what's going on without the appropriate equipment or running up to check
I
it.
wasn't meant to be analyzing. I was just asking for a recap.
Yeah,
if he's
I'm
just
just
down.
yeah,
he's,
but
he's just down on the ground. Right
I'm just reiterating in case anybody else is attempting to ask me the same questions. So.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was Blackout. Blackout is his tendrils are reaching out specifically to Shone. So Shone, if you want to go ahead and dodge, you're going to need to make 5.
Five rolls.
Yes.
Ooh.
I'm 19, 92,
Okay.
Good year.
38, 75,
Okay.
and 72.
Okay. So you are dipping and ducking with quite the nimbleness, but 2 of them manage to grab a hold of you, and they treat you like an old rug, slamming you up against the ceiling and back down on the floor. Just.
Ow.
You have a spare uniform on, so that's going to absorb 10 points of the damage. That transfers to 40 points of physical damage.
Okay.
That's not happy.
No, not happy.
A headbanger at this point is lashing. He doesn't quite understand why there's multiples of this guy that flew up. So he's headbanging and slashing his hair around and anticipates 2 of the ones that are on him. Clave at this point comes running in. And he is leaping right at Hyperion. Hyperion, if you want to try and... You have 2 choices because he's going physical. You can either attempt to parry with your fighting, or you can attempt to dodge with your agility, whichever is better.
And this is Clave coming at me?
Yes.
Okay.
He was like running in on all 4s and just takes a springing leap right at you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try to like go strength for strength for him and try to kind of like parry, kind of grab him so that he's not...
fighting. Okay, so go ahead and roll for it then.
Okay. 73.
All right. So
Yeah.
he leaps up there, and you manage to kind of catch both of his arms to keep him from rending into you, and you can see that the blades, since they're that close to your face, there's something wrong about the blades that are coming out of his hands. What is wrong about them, you don't know. They're not like dripping anything, but they at first appearance look extra sharp of some kind. So basically at this point, it's almost like if you had caught a wild animal by the front 2 paws.
Yeah.
So you're like wrestling around with this guy and trying to keep him off balance while not losing balance yourself, and you've managed to do so far. Intake is not moving, and I think that is all of them. Okay, so Brittany.
Okay, first of all, with my danger sense, would that have affected my initiative?
No, but it does affect any inbound attack to you.
Okay, so like reaction type
Yes.
thing?
Mhm.
Okay.
So
Okay.
really, it only comes into play like if somebody thinks they've got you by surprise, then yes, it would probably give you some sort of not a straight bonus to initiative, but obviously because they're not nearly as catching you by surprise as they would think. So in that way, it would kind of translate like that.
Okay. What I would like to do is cloak invisible and start cuffing the people that are down. So I think I'll start with intake first because he seems more dangerous to me than Coil.
Okay.
So
give me a psyche check to do this on the fly.
56.
All right. So
remarkable.
Now you see her. Now you don't. Lightbringer is gone.
I'm gonna take my cuffs and head over to intake.
Okay, I will.
Is it a cuff or a collar?
It's a collar.
Okay, collar.
So I will get to that in a second. So top of the round, it is Derek and Justin.
What was the other? Well, I'm gonna fling a plasma bolt at good old Blackout.
Okay. You still need to make your power stunt for that, but it's a green result at this point, I think.
No, I finished the power stunt.
Did you?
Yeah, didn't I?
I didn't think you did.
Oh, maybe I did it.
I know you got it low. It's not as nearly as hard. I believe it was a green result last we left off.
39, so that's a green.
Okay, so go ahead and fling your
the last one.
There you go. So
I forget if I had one more
fling your
point left
plasma
on it. And let's go ahead and try to hit this guy because I still have to hit him.
Yep.
That's going to be an 88.
Nice. And what is your power rank for that?
The power rank is, we said it was based off of my heat, right?
Yes.
That is going to be amazing.
Nice. So you end up striking him, and you catch him like right square in the chest. And there is some sizzling effect there as your plasma hits, and he looks down at it and sneers at you.
Charming.
And it's doing nothing for his tendrils or anything, is it?
No, nothing for his tendrils.
Looks like you. That's what I was afraid of.
It looks like the impact probably hurt him, but not nearly as much as you had hoped. Derek, you're up.
Okay, I am looking at making this place an ice rink on their side.
So hitting the ground, pulling a Sub-Zero, hitting the ground, and making it icy.
Yeah, and hopefully them doing the opposite of whoever Sub-Zero is fighting and doing the loop, 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 loop.
Okay, go ahead and give me.
If they're ground based, I'm essentially looking at lessening their agility.
Yes, go ahead and hit. Use your agility and take a shot.
67.
All right. So you managed to successfully target roughly about the middle of the combat. And there's ice starting to coat the ground at this point, which on their turns will start forcing those who are in it to make agility checks. Shelly, you are currently wrapped up in coils, so you're immobile in the sense, but you're not defenseless. So you can attempt to make a strength check to try and get out, or you can attempt to fire back on him and hopefully get him to release you.
One question, because I know that electricity travels through water. Will it still travel through ice?
Yes.
Okay. Since he's got his tendril wrapped around her, she's going to give it everything she's got. She's going to direct a current straight through him and hoping that it goes through the ice and hits the others.
Okay, so the tendrils are not touching the ice.
And he is.
He is not. He is on his throne.
Okay. Well, I'm still going to electrocute him.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So go ahead and roll. You are down 2 column shifts at this point to strike because he has a hold of you.
I am so 100
Okay.
Woohoo.
on what was that, agility?
Yes. So it's
Yeah,
at a 100, it's
yeah,
still a red
100
result.
Yeah, 100 at 100.
Okay.
Nice.
So
Nice.
so your lightning goes flying,
giggly.
ends up striking him pretty hard. The tendrils vanish temporarily as it looks like you have stunned him, causing him to like step back and lean against his throne at this point as he has been knocked for a loop.
I really like this ability.
I'm
Um,
wondering if I should try and color him instead, because that would be amazing.
Yes, it would be.
I'm gonna hold that thought.
That would be
Probably a bad
unearthly.
idea, but
okay, so it is Dale and everybody else.
Okay.
At this point. So Dale, where you're at, you're kind of at a stalemate. Your, minions are attempting to distract and stay in everybody's face. They apparently did nothing for Clave, which made sense given the animalistic nature breakdown that you got. He probably has seen it on a different level. You have him in your hands.
right.
Yeah. So just as a reflexive thing, any of the copies I had on him, I just go ahead and dissipate just to decrease system resources.
Absolutely makes sense. Yep.
And then since I have him by the hands, I want to kind of like pull him like to the side and bring him close so I can headbutt him in the face.
Nice. Okay, so go ahead and roll your fighting.
This is for Clave.
62.
Nice. Okay. He was able to roll with part of it, but physically, given your strength, you have no problem reeling him in, wham, nailing him hard in the head. So it didn't take him out, but your headbutt was solid.
Okay.
So it is up to them. Okay. Let's see. And he is stunned at this round and not put down. Let's see. We have Brute and Sledgehammer are still going at it pretty hard. Like they are slamming each other into stuff, and it's causing vibrations through the. I mean, basically, I'm on a lesser scale. It's like Hulk and Superman going at it. It's when they punch, it's thunderous and loud. If they slam each other into things, it makes everything rattle. It's just what happens when superhuman strength hits superhuman strength. Headbanger sees that the distractions are what they are, the distractions. So he's starting to ignore it. And good question. Who to go after? You guys are quickly taking the upper hand.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for them, it's an oh-no, definitely.
So he lashes out at let's see.
Roll a d6.
Tough to say.
Throne's over here, eeny, meeny, miny. You.
Yeah.
He lashes out at Angler. So his hair like launches off of his head and is reaching out to slash you.
Okay.
It detaches from his head?
No, it's prehensile.
Oh.
And super long.
Yep. Trying to block it would probably not be a good idea. So you may want to just attempt to dodge.
Yeah. Even with my strength and its more powerful form because I'm out of water is I am gonna try an agility and dodge out of the way.
Okay.
Ooh, but that's kind of the problem. Is I'm down to a good on my agility right now, but my strength is at remarkable.
Well, it's not your strength that it would go off of. It would go off of fighting. But the problem is, this is like a bladed weapon. You don't really have anything to block with it unless you wanted to block with your arms, which means you're probably going to likely still take damage.
Have Sludge and Brute made a bunch of like detritus around the room?
There is some wreckage around the room at this point, like panels that have fallen off and broken away and whatnot. And some
Anything
that
that Angler can reach to make a shield type thing?
No.
Okay.
He could move to try and do something, but that would require him to dodge in that direction.
Okay.
I'm getting out of the way, so.
Okay.
51.
51. Okay. Okay. He manages to catch you with that. You do not have the benefit of your rocket shielding at this point, but you do have your uniform, which will absorb 10 of that damage. That ends up striking you for 30 as the hair slashes out and like cuts you right across the chest, creating an opening in your uniform.
Sure. All right. Am I like still? Is his hair still connected to me, or is it like slash and then retreat?
Yeah, no, it's like a long range bladed weapon.
Okay.
So it didn't grab a hold of you; it slashed you.
All right, I just wanted to make sure.
Think of somebody at a Wild Pantera concert that just managed to catch you with their hair.
I was trying to determine if it was like a rope dart or if it was a chain and sickle type of thing.
Nope, that's a fair question because he could technically do either. But no, this was just slashing.
Okay.
Basically, now that you've gotten a chance to get hit by it, they're like monofilament wires.
Ooh.
Rough.
Yeah, so gross. So Clave is having none of that with that headbutt nonsense. So he is taking his feet and is going to dig into your sides with claws. Since you are you can't dodge, you would use fighting at this point to basically try and wrestle and throw him off from his attack.
Okay. Yeesh. 12.
Oh, so he catches you good at this point, unfortunately. So he does one of those things like you would expect, kind of like from a cat when they're kicking with their back legs. His back legs catch you like right on the sides and rip you open, pretty decently. You have the benefit. I think you have body armor naturally, correct?
I do, yeah.
And you have the uniform.
Yeah, so I'd have like a total of 30 points worth of armor with my uniform.
That's what I thought. You took 45 total.
Okay.
I don't like these numbers.
So
after his armor.
So your armor definitely helped you, and the uniform helped, additionally. But getting hit with those blades, now you realize why exactly it literally went into you on a molecular level.
Yikes. Okay, got it.
But you picked up on that because of your massive intellect. So that immediately sends off the threat assessment of like, oh crap, it is not good to be up close with this guy.
Right, exactly. Okay.
All right. And then, so that is it for them. Brittany.
Okay. So
there is now ice on the ground. Whatever it is you're going to do, you're going to have to make an agility check to bypass it.
I can do that. I need some shoes that can have like UV on the shoes. That could be really cool. Okay, agility.
Okay, yes. You will add your acrobatics.
Tell me about the golf.
Oh yeah. Okay, so that takes me to incredible.
Okay.
At 51.
That is definitely good enough. The ice caught you by surprise, but those years of just playing on the playground and being a little more acrobatic than the other kids has definitely paid off once again.
Okay, so I made it over to intake.
You were going to intake?
I was gonna go to.
I thought you were going to put blackout.
Oh.
You're thinking about it.
Oh, I was thinking about it. Does he still look
Give
stunned?
me an intuition check.
39.
39.
Incredible.
Oh, that might be good enough. That is good enough.
That is good. That's green.
Just barely. So you're looking at him. Your gut tells you he's not going to be stunned much longer. He's going to shrug this off.
Can I get to him in time?
You can.
I mean, can I get to him on this turn?
You can race across to him. You will be down a column shift for your fighting, but you can try and pull it off by basically leaping at him with the collar in hand.
I'll do it.
Okay.
For the try.
Going for the
big or go
goal.
home.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what you are, Brittany?
I have faith in you.
Big damn heroes. Ain't we just? That's what you do when you're trying to go balls to the wall. You put everything into it. So go ahead and roll your fighting.
And can I add anything to this?
You haven't rolled yet, so if you want to spend karma, you can.
But like,
but you have to declare it before you roll.
Sense or
no to the first two.
Can I add a reason check to figure out some kind of trajectory? Okay.
Nope.
How much karma do I? Oh, I have some karma. Let's spend. Wait, how does karma work again on rolls?
It's point for point. So
Okay.
however much you spend on karma is how much you're bumping the roll by.
Yeah. And then your roll is on top of the karma you spent.
Yep.
And if you're lazy, like I am,
just spend 100.
I've done that once or twice.
Yeah.
What is my rating? Oh, 30. So I'm down a column shift on fighting.
Yes.
You said. Let's spend 50 karma.
Ooh, 58. Okay, so that is putting you over the halfway mark already. Go ahead and roll.
Is there a max per night how much karma you can spend?
100.
Okay.
No. Okay, so I rolled 17.
It's good that you spent karma.
It is good that I spent karma. So that will take me to 17 plus 50.
75.
67.
Okay.
58 plus 17.
I think she said 50 earlier.
Yeah,
I
58.
said 50.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 17.
Mm-hmm.
75.
On excellent.
Oh, you have a better fight than I thought you did. Okay.
My fighting is remarkable.
Ooh, that just puts you at a yellow result. Good job. So you leap, and you are going up in the air for what feels like a solid minute. You are going slow-mo. For those of you who are into sports, this is like the last-minute touchdown with the ball slowly coming into range as she's holding out her hands, attempting to catch it at the very last second, and you come flying. You unfortunately misgauge the strength you needed, so you're flying up over him, and you do one of these numbers and clamp the collar around his neck, and then it sends you kind of up and over and behind him ungracefully as you see him buckle down to the ground. Thankfully, you don't take any damage from connecting hard against his throne because
at this point, I kind of don't even care.
Yeah, because the uniform managed to absorb that.
Okay.
But
Oh,
if I get knocked unconscious, I don't care.
So,
was I still invisible when I did this?
yes.
Nobody even saw me.
Yeah, so,
All
well,
of a
they
sudden, the
see
collar is on his neck.
they see you now. Like, they see you at the very last minute, kind of like flying, up over end, like somebody threw you at this point, and you just kind of topple over, and the collar connects around his neck. Wow, that was a great move.
Yeah, Brett.
What places was that? Did you?
Expect ones for the rest of the night.
Oh man.
All right. So we are at the top of the round again at this point. And at this point, it's getting nasty with Brute and Sledgehammer. As Brute ends up throwing Sledgehammer back against the computer bays and sparks go everywhere. It doesn't look like that really did much to him, but the impact was pretty loud. And at this point, it looks like he may be trying to break off from Sledgehammer to get the collar off of Blackout. Top of the round.
Oh no.
We are at Justin and Derek.
The guy who's breaking away from Sledgehammer?
Brute.
Brute's gonna get plasma to the face.
To the face. Go ahead and roll your agility.
And for that, I will actually spend karma tonight.
Okay.
And I'll drop 50 on it.
50, okay.
I roll a 49.
Oh, and I didn't even need that. 87.
Oh, okay. Oh, lucky dog. All right. So he didn't even see that coming. He's like bolting, and then boom, connects right into the head. A red result. A red result would have given a kill result, but given the fact he is superhuman endurance, he is able to. He's able to take that. His attention is directed at this point, and he is looking to brute smash the ever-living snot out of Angler. As his face is like burning, and part of his hair is like getting singed off from the plasma. This clearly had much more effect on him than it did Blackout. Derek.
Yes. So Blackout is not doing much, and it's Brute that's coming at
Sledge.
Justin.
At Angler, yes.
Yeah,
he is turned, and at this point is furious. His mindset wants to help his boss is now on the fact that somebody managed to burn the hell out of his face.
And then what is Headbanger and so it's Headbanger and Glaive are the other two that are still active?
Clave is tied up with Hyperion at this point. And unfortunately, Headbanger seems to have been focusing on Angler as well.
Brute is getting his eyeballs and face frozen.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
With and I'm spending 50.
Okay.
72.
All right.
Like I'm specifically wanting to I'm freezing his face.
Yeah. Okay. So you hit him, and he is still coming at Angler like a Mack truck.
Right.
Brute is after Angler.
Yes.
Is Sledge down? He got
No, Sledge is not down. He just got thrown back into a computer bank. So he's not out. He's just kind of got knocked back a little bit for distance.
Okay.
So that is that round. Shelley.
Okay. I'm going to put my hands on the ice.
Okay.
And I'm going to direct a current of electricity towards Brute.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your agility.
Of course, it's the armed services guy who gets attacked.
80.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's on an earthly.
Yes.
I'll be right back, guys.
Alrighty.
I still have 50 to spend tonight if I need to.
Bullseye strike. Okay, so he yells as you strike him hard with the lightning. He is still inbound. That is Shelly, Dale, and the others who are remaining. So Hyperion.
Let's see. Can I gauge, like, my thought is, since I still also have Clave held,
Mhm.
if I pivoted and then, like, standing kicked him towards Brute, does it, can I calculate if I would have, like, the strength to propel him that far to hit Brute?
That is a great question. Your max bench press is 10 tons. So you tell me.
So yeah, okay, I'm pretty sure I could do that. Okay, that's my.
You absolutely can. It's not the most graceful of things, but you definitely have the strength to pull that off.
Yeah.
Okay. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I need to get this guy off me because I can't keep taking those hits. So I'm gonna be in the Karma Spend Club.
Okay.
And,
Everybody's doing it.
Everyone's doing it. Peer pressure. Okay, I'm gonna spend 50.
Oh wow! All right.
And then we'll roll. Yeah, I guess good thing. Rolled a 36, total of 86.
So boom! So you connect with a nice solid sounding thud of your own as you let go right at the right time and kick him hard in the chest, sending him back. It wasn't in time to get shocked by the electricity, but poof, you end up hitting Brute. Didn't really do much to Brute. Clave is not happy. That kick definitely did something to him. It looks like it probably knocked the wind out of him. All right, so that leaves Headbanger and Brute are still up, as well as
Dale, who was it that you attacked?
Sledgehammer.
I kicked Clave, so he was hurt, but it didn't seem like that did much to Brute.
Okay.
Kicked him into Brute.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sledgehammer is a bit too far away from everybody to go hand to hand, which is his nom de guerre, as you guys would know him as. So he yells to Hyperion. He says, "Go shiny!"
This is Sledgehammer telling
Yes.
me this?
He said, "Go shiny."
Like in rah, rah, rah?
No, that's cheering.
Okay.
What is
can I reflexively
yes.
move a bunch of my copies and generate copies just surrounding Brute right now?
Oh no, I was talking. He's okay. I'll tell you what. Since you're kind of confused, why don't you give me a reason check to see what he might be referencing?
Yeah, because I don't have anything that makes anything shine.
I don't know what that means.
100.
Okay.
Nice.
Remember, you have those reflectors.
Oh, okay. Okay. Don't know why he wants me to turn them on, but yeah, I'll go ahead and activate them.
Okay. So you quickly, with just a reflex, your skin kind of flickers and gives that shimmer where you are now more of a reflective surface. Oh, damn! That's the first 100 I've rolled for this game so far.
Nice.
So his eyes flare as you see a beam of light shoot from his eyes, strike your body, reflect off, and catch and end up catching Clave right in the face.
Nice.
Did not know you could do that.
Hey, you've seen him do it once before, but that
Have
was yes, you have, but that was in the solo play many
was a
months
long
ago.
time ago.
Yes. So it struck him, and that was enough to actually drop Clave.
Nice.
Nice.
It doesn't look like he's totally out, but it has definitely put him like in a heavy stun, like he's just kind of rolling around on the ground. Given the fact you guys do know that he has superhuman regeneration, he is probably not going to be in that state long. Brute, however, has now reached Angler and is going to try and turn him into paste. Double axe handle, and he's just trying to crush him.
Is this at the top of the round, or are we still at the bottom?
No, you were at this point. We are still mid-round. It's their attacks.
Okay.
So you can attempt to fighting block this. You have the strength to.
That's all I can do.
Or you can try and dodge.
Dodging is going to be less effective for me.
Okay, that works. So you're throwing up a block.
90.
Nice.
Boom!
Boy, we are hot tonight.
So you just hastily throw like both your hands up, just to not the best looking block, but you kind of throw them up there, and it hits and impacts, and you dent into the ground from where it's at. You will not be able to hold this. He is easily twice your strength.
Oh, I'm not going to hold it.
But you were able to brace enough of it that it didn't do any damage. It did was superficial, so you'll probably feel like bruising, but he did not successfully pummel the snot out of you. Headbanger at this point changes targets and slashes out at Hyperion with his hair.
Here you go.
You can attempt to dodge or block.
Let's see. I'll go ahead and attempt to block.
Okay.
Got my reflectors up too, anyway. That was a bad idea. 3.
Oh, 3. Ouch.
Ouch.
So he whips that around and ends up tagging your left arm as you tried to throw up a block. Thankfully, most of your armor and your uniform take that up, so you only take 10. Yeah. But again, it's monofilament wire, so
does my reflector at GD10 stop that as well?
No, that's only for energy.
Okay.
So it slashed across. Thankfully, it wasn't nearly as impactful as Clave.
Right.
But it's not a happy place. This is, does not bring happiness, as what her Marie Coy or whatever her name is. Kondo, yeah. This does not promote happiness.
Got it.
So that was their round. At this point, Britt.
Okay. You said somebody was trying to get the collar off of Blackout?
He was.
Not anymore.
No, not okay.
He's attempting to turn Angler into paste because he got caught in the face really bad.
That was Clave?
No, that was Brute.
Okay. And now, so are Brute and Headbanger both after Angler right now?
No,
I lost track.
Headbanger has just slashed at Hyperion and give him a decent cut, but he's okay. And Brute at this point is trying to smash Angler, but Angler managed to block.
Okay, then I am going to use my radiation against Brute from across the room.
Okay. So is this a UV light blast?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. It's based on your agility.
Roll what?
It's based on your agility to strike.
Oh, that's right. Agility to strike and then Psyche for damage.
No, it's your power rank for damage.
What does the psyche have? Wait, what controls psyche? What does psyche control then?
Psyche generally only controls radius-like effects, or psychic powers, or
Write this down somewhere.
magic powers.
Okay. A 76 on remarkable.
Nice roll. Okay, zap. At a remarkable. You said 70 what?
76.
The yellow result. That is also another. Okay, you guys are getting some good rolls. That's a bullseye.
Yeah, I know, Ben. We're hot.
So
They're hot.
you end up pegging him in the back of the head. It's one of those things that it's more like if I threw a baseball at you, it's probably not going to kill you, and your body's probably going to absorb most of it. But if I catch you just right, it's going to zing. And that's ultimately what you did. You lashed out that energy and caught him like right in the head, and it caught him for a zinger. And so he's kind of stumbling forward onto Angler at this point. Top of the round.
Do I roll damage, or we?
Nope. Your damage is your power rank.
Okay.
Unless for some reason you're pulling it.
I'm gonna look up at him and says, "Big mistake," and I'm gonna drop down and put my hands on his chest, and he's getting another plasma to the chest.
Okay.
You don't want to just collar him right now?
Could I collar him?
You could certainly try. It would be a fighting check as you pull it out to whip it around his neck.
Superhero action. He tried to hurt me action.
He's all superhero action, Mortal Kombat.
Right.
Friendship? Fatality.
Does he look messed up at this point?
Yeah, but he could probably take a lot more.
We don't know if he has healing, right?
So far, I'll put it this way. So far, you've seen him take a hefty helping of your plasma, of the electricity from Shone. He just took a shot from Lightbringer, and he's been in hand-to-hand combat with Sledge.
And I forget, it was said, and this is my bad memory, do the colors work on superhuman abilities like that? It just doesn't work on tech, right?
Yeah, tech is what it doesn't work against. Tech and magic.
I'm going to spend that other 50 points on this roll.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to collar him.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
And again, didn't need it. 67. So
all right.
Counts as 100.
So you, against your better judgment, you really wanted to finish this guy off. You wanted to get your anger out, but you slapped that collar around his neck. And as you do, and it activates, you see him shrink down to like 5 feet in size.
Wow.
That's great.
No one says you can't, beat him up a little bit while he's collared, right? Right?
I mean, if you want a single punch
Well,
to
if you want to
kill
go
him.
by the Geneva Convention, I haven't walked past him, so I can still obliterate his body and be well within avoiding committing a war crime.
And so at this point, as there's a brief calm in the room as the fighting seems to have stopped, there's a couple people who still don't have collars on.
That was Clave?
Clave doesn't have a collar.
That was Brute that he just did that to.
Brute just got collared.
Okay, Coil is asleep. Intake is
actually,
down.
Headbanger is still up.
Headbanger is still up. Clave is still up.
Clave is actually down.
Oh.
Because he was hit by the beam.
Yes. So Derek, it is your turn.
Who is closest to me?
Anybody but Blackout.
Okay. So I guess I'll try to go up and I'll just go up and put my, at a glance, are either Coil or Intake starting to move? Obviously, this is like a quick,
give me an intuition check.
Okay. That's a 63.
Okay. Not as far as you can tell.
Okay, so it's not obvious. Like one's not like kind of thing. Yeah.
Clave is, but not
Right.
but not Coil.
Can I
Clave
get
is the one with regenerative powers. Coil is a tech user.
Yep. Clave is the one with regenerative powers.
get to Clave? Coil or a collar on him
Okay.
as quickly as possible.
Go ahead and
Yeah.
roll fighting. You just need to get a green result.
Oh boy. I'm throwing my 50 in it. I don't care.
Okay. A big spender.
My fighting is a typical.
Yeah.
Yeah, my fighting's not good either.
62.
Okay, so yeah, you rush over there real quick and slap that collar on him. So that leaves us with Shelly.
That was on Clave, right?
That was on Clay.
Yeah. So Clave, Brute. So like just so the big hitters all have collars.
I would recommend collaring intake.
And then the only ones that do not have collars are Coil, Intake, but Headbanger is the only one that's active right now.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and collar intake since I put him down.
Okay. So you go ahead. He's not moving at this point. So you slap a collar quickly, around his neck. His head's still encased in ice this whole time.
Yay. So that's 4 out of the 6 have collars now.
And let's see so we're at Derek, or not Derek, but Dale and Headbanger and Sledge.
All right. Yeah. So we've got just Headbanger pretty much. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna rush up to him and deck him in the face.
Okay. 5 fingers to the face. Just whatever works.
Can't go wrong with a fist to the face.
Have you heard about our Lord and Savior? Who's that? Boom!
Okay, so that is a hit. Oh, ouch. Okay, that is a knockout. That was enough of a hit. He hadn't taken any damage, and he probably could take more, but you hit him just right on the jaw, and he slept. Just
the Street Fighter.
Since I'm just right there, right afterward, can I just oh no, that's right. The collar doesn't work because he's got cybernetic.
Correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And Sledgehammer gets up and was about ready to come in with his hammer, but then at this point everybody's down. And he's like, holy crap, it worked.
Right?
Well
I
done,
mean,
team.
of course it did.
He absolutely falls flat on his back at this point. Are we out of combat now?
You are out of combat. However, you can still kind of hear, some faint noises outside, and from the monitors are still picking up things.
He's going to collapse onto
Everybody that can be collared, yes.
Okay.
He's going to collapse on the floor and says, "We need to strip him out of his gear." And he's pointing at Coil. Needs to be done now.
I'll do it.
What about Headbanger? The collar will not inhibit his hair.
I'm not sure.
I could
freeze
attempt to freeze and snap them off. We would not be doing him direct damage. Damaging his accessories would not be. It would be like disarming him.
Can he regrow them? Sledge, have you dealt with Headbanger before?
No, I've never dealt with him. I'm not even familiar with this tech.
Since I'm right up next to him, I take a look at it to see if there's some way I could deactivate it or mess with his tech here.
Give me a reason check.
And once she gets his
I'm
his
gonna
gear away from him, he's
backpack.
gonna finally pass out because he's taken 9/10 of his bar now at this point. I have,
So we got
I think, 14 health points left at this moment.
Ouch.
So we got a 60 on amazing.
Okay. This is actually very advanced tech. If you froze it, the freezing process likely wouldn't hold because it affects on a molecular level. It would likely just as soon as he moved, it's going to go right through it.
Could I try melting it?
You don't have the capability of making it hot enough to do so.
Could I electrocute it?
That is entirely up to you. What do you think electricity is going to do to somebody who's hardwired with cybernetics?
I'm going to overload him.
That would kill him.
Oh, we can't kill him?
No.
Not even like, oops.
Not even a little bit?
We will
Yeah.
incarcerate all these individuals. We cannot be murderers.
Well, I'm going to still try to short him out. Hopefully I don't kill him.
But
Okay.
he's already down, right?
He's already down.
down.
Mm-hmm.
Could we?
So,
could-
so what
before
she,
you do
because
that,
what she
before
can
you
do,
do that, before you do that, could Angler? Could we protect his face and him use his plasma? The plasma would be hot enough to melt that, and the damage that the individual would take may be some superficial burns to his scalp, but it would be healable.
Angler's bleeding right now.
Lightbringer.
Angler is in a
Just
very
Angler.
bad way.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Can I try and stabilize Angler?
Sure. Go ahead. Go ahead and give me an intuition check first.
85.
If you've ever seen someone who's gone through SEAL training, they're stubborn as all sin. He waited until after the mission was done.
so Jerome,
Can't die until the
can-
mission's done.
One second.
can-
Go ahead.
okay, she can control how much she gives him,
Mm-hmm. You sure can.
so she could still
Have
try
you
it
have you dealt with Earth?
cybernetics.
Have you dealt with Earth technology, and do you know the correct ampage?
Well, she's not an expert on it, but I would say that she's been there long enough to play around with it.
Not to the extent that you're asking.
Can I use karma?
The effect of
You could
amperage
absolutely
through-
use karma on the roll if you want. What I'm telling you is that at the level of power that you have, you run a high risk of killing him.
The amperage that can kill a normal human is less than 1/3 of 1 amp, properly flowing through the body. Through the brain, it may even be less.
Since I'm also right next to this guy, his hair
The only
is
reason I
it
know
still
that is
like
because
super
of my
long right now?
biology study. So
Go ahead, Dale.
Is Headbanger's hair like still super long, or did it like retract into his head or something?
No, it retracted. I mean, it's still like lengthy in the sense of like 80s hairband, but it's not like
Okay.
all the way across the room.
Gotcha.
Guys, what
now-
do you think we should do?
He is unconscious currently. For now, we can at least bind him. And I look for something in the if there's like loose wires or something. And
Yeah.
use
Oh
that
yeah,
to,
yeah.
like,
There,
tie
there,
his
there's
hands
enough
behind him.
garbage, and you've got enough strength that you can make some sort of manacle, out of it or something.
Okay.
And Sledge is like, we got to get out of here, and he, steps down and breaks the ice around Intake's head.
My intuition check was 85. I don't know what it's for.
There is something seriously wrong with Angler. He is showing signs of like wounds and whatnot, but it's not like your typical gunshot wound or being bludgeoned or whatnot. A good bulk of his health you can't actively describe. It's almost like
So-
somebody stuck a straw in a orange.
And like sucked out his
Yep.
vitality. Okay, so most of So the physical wounds that I can see do not match up with how
Right.
bad he looks.
Which you can definitely help with any physical wounds that he's garnered.
Okay.
With his orientation to water, do we need to get him back to water? Is he out of character? Is he conscious right now?
Yeah, he's conscious.
Would water help you?
I maybe.
Well,
he does try to sit up at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you're okay. You can sit up. At this point, we've got to get out.
What do I roll for emergency medicine?
Reason?
Oh. 87 plus column shift.
So a lot.
Good roll.
Yeah, that's in the red.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. A lot at that point.
Okay, I'll do whatever I can for him, and then, like, do we have to carry these guys out?
Yep.
Ugh.
Is this gonna kill me?
I don't know. You look.
I'm talking about the bleeding.
We
No,
can give you ice cubes.
your bleeding's good.
You're bleeding.
He'll
you're
get up
well.
and he'll start throwing criminals over his shoulder. If he still has his strength, he's just.
Yeah, you're not feeling good, but you still got your strength. And Sledgehammer, grabs a hold of Headbanger and Blackout, making sure that Blackout doesn't try to wriggle out or force his way out of his bind or his collar.
He's awake, right? He's
he's awake.
He just can't use his powers.
Correct.
I'm going to use telepathy to contact Minuteman and tell him. Well, let me roll first.
Go ahead.
Oh, do I still have my connection with him?
Not at this point, no.
Okay.
89.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that goes through.
Yes.
So, I'll say, Minuteman, our objective is complete, and we are heading topside.
Well, roger that. We've got units on standby.
Are you still fighting on the surface?
No, for some reason they broke off and they're making a run for it. So it's cleanup at this point.
All right, we're headed to you. I'll relay this to the group.
Okay. So as you guys are making your way back up, give me, since you're the kind of the medic of the group at this point, why don't you give me another intuition check?
And as they're going, because we're wanting to make sure that the guys that are conscious, but they've been inhibited by their bands or their collars, if they are messing with them, I'll ice their hands. I don't care.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
Because at that point, they're not going to have their super strength. They're not going to be able to do anything like that. And you know what? Frostbite never killed anybody.
Yeah. She can also give them just a little zap.
My team is bloodthirsty. Man, holy crap.
Kind of like the dog collars that keep them from barking. That's the intensity.
She's like,
gonna give them.
I think I rolled a 10 and a 0. That's 10, right?
That's 10, yeah.
Okay. On intuition. Yeah, no.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So you rolled 00 and then a 10?
No, I rolled 10 and a 0.
Yeah. She
Is
rolled
that 10 or is that 100?
That's a 100.
No. A
If
double
it was
zero
and then
and a zero.
Yeah.
She
on
rolled
your
a
10
1
spider,
0 and a 0.
Yeah.
She rolled 10.
Wait,
On your percentile die, did you roll a 10 or a 00?
10.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a
then
10.
you rolled a 10 total. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you roll a 00 and then a 0, that's 100.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
so No problem. So you are caught up with something else at this point. So you guys managed to make it, out either forcefully through doors or following the correct exit pattern and making your way back up through the remains of this stronghold and getting topside. And at this point, the Aegis Foundation has kind of spread out, and they're, getting, breaking out, additional cuffs and whatnot to lock people down. And you can see that the hoplite forces are, have landed, in the area as well. Warner's, before anybody continues, Warner's goes over and starts, checking everybody, including all of you. And now I have a question for everybody, because we've discussed this several times in previous games. I know nobody has karma pooled. Has anybody put anything to your karma bank? Because we were talking about like advancing forward and whatnot.
So
If you did, if you did, it would be written on your character sheet.
I have, minus tonight's usage of 100, I have 985 karma.
Okay, so there's no
Hey,
karma
can I
bank
ask-
there. That's just 900 some odd karma.
Can I ask what a karma bank is?
Karma bank is literally a bank. You're setting XP aside specifically to advance something. It means it can't be touched for anything until you get it to the point that you're ready to advance whatever it is you're working on.
I don't think we have.
I mean, I've been pooling it because I'm going to use it as I see fit, kind of thing. But
which most people tend to.
Okay.
So
Not like
actually, so it's XP that you're banking, not actual karma points.
Well, it's still karma.
is
It just karma is XP. It just means it's not available for you to spend on anything else except for what you're trying to advance.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I did explain that at one point during the game, especially at the times where we're doing karma pool.
I didn't understand that we could do that though either. So
that's fine.
Now I do.
Again, most everybody tends to keep it in if they're not karma pooling, they tend to keep it in their own little private pools and use it as they see fit.
Is it too late to throw 500 of mine in there?
Yep.
Okay.
That's why he's asking.
Yep, that is.
I mean,
that
because
is
exactly. I had no idea I could. I know we were talking about a karma pool collectively, but I don't recall talking about it individually.
Me
neither. No, it's not. It's a bank, is what it is. But yes, that is something
like that pool or that bank. I don't remember us talking about it individually, setting it aside to where it was locked down. I don't recall that at all.
Yeah, so that is a thing, and it is something I did mention, although we did focus primarily on the pool. So that being what it is, so Warner's has gone around and double checked everybody. Obviously, she's gone with whatever Lightbringer has mentioned for Angler, so she doesn't worry about him. When she gets to Intake, however, Intake is dead.
Oops.
He had ice over his face the whole time.
That wasn't the primary. That was one of the contributing factors, but yes, that wasn't the main reason.
What happened? Oh, can I check?
You absolutely can, Mrs. I have medicine as well.
Once we get outside, he wants to bring special attention to Headbanger because he doesn't want to have to burn off his
Oh no, yeah, they are aware of that, so they're putting on special cuffs for him, and apparently it's a technological version of the inhibitor band.
And then he's going to go and see
it's
the
just
medic.
not as common.
28. That's actually in the green.
Okay. He has severe electrical scarring.
Ooh. Well, that's unfortunate.
So, with all the hoopla, obviously they're trying to get everybody carted off and taken away, and whatnot, and lockdown. Media are immediately coming in, and Minuteman is downplaying certain things and accentuating others, in front of the other, in front of the people, and Warner's turns to like your group, off the side while he's deflecting them, and he says, or she says, I think you guys should probably get out of here. Let him try and push this part under the rug if he can, because this is not good.
Can I teleport us now?
How is this not good? We just apprehended Blackout.
Somebody was killed. The media are going to have a heyday with this.
Against a supervillain's henchman?
It
seems they would be.
Your best bet is talk to your lawyer at this point. Just quietly try to get out and let him see if their media people can try and sweep some of this under the rug.
Let us leave, team.
I'm going to try to teleport us out.
Okay. So you received that searing headache again.
So it's not down. I was hoping it went down because he was bashing into computers and stuff. Okay,
No,
I can't teleport us.
That was actually Hoplites doing, not him.
Oh. All right. I'll try and cloak us again. Do you want me to roll?
No.
Okay. I'll cloak us again and say, all right, let's hoof it.
Okay. So yeah, from there you guys are able to hoof it back to basically where the base camp has been set up for Aegis Foundation, and they quickly usher you through to the other side and let you get back to your craft, or calling the drop ship at this point to come and pick you up.
Can I ask what difference the Karma Bank would have made? Like, why did that have to do anything with anything at that moment?
Well, actually, that's a very great question. I was about to get to that. Anything in a Karma Bank is safe if somebody dies.
Well, we lose karma if somebody dies.
You lose.
We're about to hit a chunk of it.
You lose it all if somebody dies.
What? This is garbage. I had a lot of.
I just lost all my karma.
I had 1713 in karma.
Yeah, I had over 2,000.
It hurts.
I didn't know we could. There was a karma bank, so I never.
And
yeah, I didn't know about any of this.
And some of that is fair given the fact that Shone is new, and is a more rookie-ish in the superheroing thing than the rest of you guys. So she would have probably been exuberant with her electricity. So, ouch. That doesn't mean you won't be getting anything from the completion of this. It just means that anything that you had prior is gone.
Is there any way we can take a 50% thing on that rather than taking 100%?
Nope.
Because
it's unfortunately it is all gone. That's actually in the rules.
Okay, Lightbringer's now gonna go dark side and just kill everybody.
And not get any karma. Okay.
We get anti-karma if we go evil, because like killing is like the good thing for them, because evil is good at that point.
No, actually, the rules don't even accommodate plain villains.
Right.
So,
my Supergirl doesn't. She tries not to kill.
you get back at this point back to the vein. With unfortunately that bad news sinking in that somebody had died on your guys' watch. The media are starting to play this up with everything that's taken. Obviously, the conclusion of what has happened. The impossible that people thought was impossible happened, and Blackout has been apprehended, bringing his criminal empire to an end. To the best of their knowledge, so they are escorting him away to a supermax prison One of the things that you do note in the media that the Aegis Foundation was insistent on is that the Hoplite agents were allowed to assist, but the Aegis Foundation were going to be the ones that took him there, given the fact that there was still perceived corruption at the local level, and that they weren't going to run the risk that he had some other failsafe out there. They're going to make sure that he got walked into a cell.
Does it say anything about the drugs and stuff that did that transport make it out?
Not as of yet. The big story at this point is that Blackout has been apprehended, and that the government at this point is being forced by the local populace to end the blockade of Fairside and to start making reparations on the local level for the problems that had occurred. They're promising, sweeping investigations into into the former police department that were there, into anybody that was quite possibly involved. One of the things that they do note is that the Aegis Foundation, although the Aegis Foundation is taking most of the credit, your guys' graphics are appearing on TV, being illustrated as basically
Killers.
The homegrown talent, or basically the headline is like homegrown talent is needed to shut down homegrown crime ring sort of thing, and so they're making it very much a local heroes done good sort of thing, since nobody really knows you guys. Despite the fact that Intake died, which gets mentioned, but it's play on the media because of the problems that have been associated with Blackout. It does get downplayed as a basically the local populace is all oops. It's very much a Boondock Saints sort of thing of like, well, I'm ready to get busy, sort of thing. Like, like, well, if he would have come in my neighborhood, I would have done the same thing, sort of thing. So you guys end up gaining a bump of 17 to your popularity.
$17?
Yes.
Okay.
So some of you had minus popularity, so you'll add 17 to that.
I have
Just take the difference.
I have private and public popularity.
Your public popularity is the one that takes the bump.
Okay.
Private is your is who you are, because you have a masked identity.
Plus 17, you said?
Plus 17.
So I'm
Yay! I'm back into the green on that.
Yeah. My popularity is now 3.
Yay.
Mine's at 23.
Woohoo.
So what is that? So how does that go up as far as that goes? Like my popularity is typical 6, with a plus 9 now.
But I don't follow.
Say that again.
Where are you getting the plus 9 from?
Because I had a minus 8.
Minus 8 plus 17.
Yeah, so I'm now plus 9.
Yeah.
You're at 9. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, then you're at 9.
So is that
I'm at 3.
It'd be like a typical 9 then?
It just
Yes.
In that range then?
Basically, popularity is really the only thing from the original game that went between the ticks, like the abilities did for the advanced system, like we were doing before. It's the only one that really
worked.
worked.
One more popularity point, it'll be good.
Technically, yes.
Okay.
But it rolls exactly the same. So it's like if you happen to have like a 20 popularity, it would roll just like an EX20. So for purposes of somebody knowing you or trying to use something for an influence, you would roll off of that.
Oh, okay. So I'm just a typical 9 right now then. Okay, I see what I'm saying. Because I had it listed kind of separately because I was listed as a typical 6, and then with that minus 8.
Well,
so I was actually at a negative, but now. Okay,
well, so yeah, but you see. You were so. No, actually, you corrected people because they called you Ixion, and you're like, no, I'm Xenofreeze at this point because you now have your uniform on. So yeah, you're right. If you develop a private personality, like a secret identity, that will split.
Oh, okay. But right now, I've just kind of corrected it, so I still only have one right now.
Yes.
Okay. Which eventually I think I might try because I want to eventually start to add color to my body.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Can I do it real quick? Can I do a roll for my encapsulating my uniform?
Let me get to karma first.
Okay.
Okay. So. Somebody might want to tally these up because I'm just gonna go down the list as they qualify for.
Okay, I got my calculator
up. So you managed to stop and prevent a violent crime, so that's an additional 45. You managed to stop and make an arrest for national level crimes. So that is 20 for the first, and then we had what, 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 5.
120.
How many did we have? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6 baddies total.
So that's 60 for the arrests.
Wait, how many
was?
You
have 20 because you stopped or prevented a national crime, and then because of the arrest, you get 10 a pop.
60 for each of the arrests.
Yes.
That was the 45 and then the 60. Okay.
Then you have you get 20 for a rescue. Okay. Then you get, hold on one second, I'm going to calculate this up. An additional 380 for defeating everybody.
You said 380?
Yes. And Brittany, you get an additional 10 specifically for you for that springing leap to pin the collar on Blackout, because that changed the entire fight.
Yay.
So who was totaling it all up?
505 is what I got.
525.
Okay.
I got 525.
525. So that is 525 divided by everybody here, and that's what you get, minus, of course, the bonus for roleplay for Brittany.
Oh, 105.
Yes.
Okay.
Whew.
And so now everybody is back in the vein. You are free to go about your RP.
All right. I tried and I rolled a 91.
I think
Another success.
1 second, probably.
I think it is.
Yes.
Yes. Cool.
I'm gonna tug on Empyrean.
That gives me 6 successes. Yay!
Yes, Joan.
I'm really sorry about killing one of them. I guess I just don't know my own strengths, which I guess we should work on.
Precisely. Team. We've done an excellent job today. Yes, there was a death, but we did save civilians. and finally put an end to this crisis in our hometown. At this point, we must not rest on our laurels. We need to make sure that we are healthy, especially with regard to Angler and whatever is happening to him medically. We need to make sure that we understand our powers and teamwork, what with the killing that happened today. And we must all make sure that we know how to actually protect Strongford from future criminals such as Blackout. He obviously won't be the only one. I'm proud of everyone today. Well done. With that said, we should all get some rest and perhaps reconvene tomorrow.
Okay.
Angler, how do you feel?
What happened?
Like I was swimming next to an exploding nuclear sub.
I'm not sure what that feels like.
Not very good. Do we have cots? Because I don't feel like going home tonight.
We do.
That'll be fun. Whenever he gets back, he's going to take off all of his gear and go and take a shower.
Do you feel any better than you did earlier?
Nope. Sub is still exploding.
So War Nurse didn't... Does she have, like, healing abilities, Jerome?
Good question. Nobody's really delved into it.
So we don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she didn't actually, like, heal anyone?
Not as far as you can tell, no. But she was a very skilled nurse. And
Okay, so
just did checkups on everybody.
mundane medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Let's maybe keep track of any changes in your condition, Freddie, and if you're not any better tomorrow, then we'll get you looked at.
He holds up a thumbs up as he walks off to the showers.
Excellent. I will also remain here in the vein tonight to make sure that Freddy's okay.
Yeah, I'll
When
keep
he
an eye on him too, since I'm sleeping here again tonight.
I think my apartment in Fairside is probably, I mean, I haven't been there since the lockdown. Last I heard, it was just that it was not safe. I'm not sure what that means. Do you think I ought to go check it out tonight, or should I wait and we can take a look tomorrow?
Wait for the all clear. We'll get in contact with the Aegis Foundation. They'll have more information as far as what's happening logistically with Fairside.
All right.
When he gets into the shower and he's taking off his clothes, he actually pulls off the bracer first.
Okay.
Is there any scarring on his arm where the pearl was making contact?
Oh, yeah.
Does the pearl want to come loose?
Yeah.
Or was it trying to embed itself?
No. It just looks like a very nasty shaped, pearl-shaped wound on your arm.
Mother.
I don't remember the name of the movie, but it was a really bad. It came out in the 70s or 80s. It was a really bad movie. It played a lot on TV with a guy who had like this medallion on his chest, and he had this, and it was an alien thing, and he had basically like this gun that he could put on one arm, and he could cock it and fire. But as long as he had this pearl-looking necklace thing on his neck, he could do it. But the problem was it was like burning into him or something. So if he ever took it off, it had like this really nasty, kind of open festering wound.
No, I think I skipped that one.
He will put back on a clean long sleeve shirt at this point.
Okay.
once he's done, and then he's gonna go and find a cot and get comfortable underneath the cot.
Okay.
Hyperion goes to the computer bank, and he tries to put down as much information now to update information regarding the lieutenants and Blackout, any gaps that were missing in like the profiles that were on the system, and then after that, he's gonna just kind of watch the different news channels to
Okay.
get updates on what's happening.
Are you going to be repairing yourself?
Yeah, that too, if I can.
Okay.
Bang,
Yeah,
bang,
so-
bang, bang.
Yeah, so
Sean's
it's
gonna
assumed
go-
you've already got the tools for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Sean's gonna go in and take a shower as well, and then come back out in her fuzzy slippers and her jammies, and sit down next to Hyperion and watch the TV with him.
Okay. So the only one that, as you guys are looking around, the only one that seems to be giving you guys any grief, but this is true no matter really what seems to happen, is Tony Pope from the TV show Hardcore, talking about how if these rookies had stayed out of it, the professionals could have gone in and nobody would have died, and yada yada yada, sort of thing. And to your guys' credit, there's actually a couple people standing up, in the audience. You're just like, no, I was there when the walls were first coming down and they were trying to save people, and then he would like bark over them, or something like that, like basically downplaying it or whatnot. But like I said, to your guys' credit, you've got some guys that are actually out there, like, you're like, no, man, they're decent people. They did the right thing. That guy, you step up in that line of work, you die, you got it coming. Some of the people in the audience, yeah. Oh, is that what we can expect? Armed vigilanteism? I suppose next thing you're going to tell me is that it's okay just to gun down a random citizen because they cut you off in the street. And of course, the rest of the crowd, booms, thundering. But then again, they're marks for Tony Pope.
It's gonna make me smile.
It seems that
Gonna
the
fist
majority
bump
of the
Hyperion.
populace is siding with us. That is good.
Yeah.
I do fear of why they side with us. We don't want to be murderers or dangerous vigilantes. We are trying to uphold a legacy, after all.
It is unfortunate, however, that there was a casualty, but I myself will not be losing any sleep tonight for the loss of someone as that, though I do not wish for it to happen again. It is not something that is weighing on my conscience.
I was just thinking of protecting you guys. I wasn't really concentrating on how much oomph I was putting into things.
If we could simply develop some sort of dampening collar that would work on tech abilities, then this could have been prevented.
What are we to do if we face somebody who, even through our research, we find out, for instance, that they are susceptible to electricity or cold or plasma generation that we were previously unaware, and without even going to the extent of dire full strength or max levels of our individual powers, we inadvertently kill somebody. That is not something we can project or foresee.
True. However, we can do our due diligence. We know,
Yeah.
for example, that an incredible amount of electrical power through a human being will definitely kill them. We know that specific types of energy, when directed upon somebody who is not super or mega tough, will quite possibly cut them in half, depending on the intensity. We need to be aware ahead of time and err on the side of caution. These are
Yeah,
still living beings
I
with
kind of
mind.
forgot how squishy you humans are.
That will be something that you will need to be accommodated with. How much interaction have you had with human society beyond what you were doing at Heliopolis?
Um, I mean, I've had this is like my first trip to Earth, so yeah, I've had encounters with humans, but I've just never electrocuted one before.
The
I
ability.
understand there's a difficult nuance there anyway because even with superpowered beings, there's a vast range of hardiness, and some of us can take more of a hit than others.
Yeah, and I kind of thought that these guys were kind of, like us, instead of being superheroes, supervillains. So I didn't think it was going to kill them.
Understandable. We couldn't have known here, but now we are aware of that possible danger. With that, Xenofreeze, you are a xenobiologist by nature. You have spent time with humanity, and I'm sure with at least some other superpowered beings on our planet. Do you believe you'd be able to develop some sort of ranking system or catalog that would help us determine the strength and intensities of specific powers, abilities, and so forth of those we would encounter?
I can. With some sort of, as you say, power ranking or defense ranking that as we go through, we can, or through even others' experiences or witnesses' accounts, we can see what they may or may not be susceptible and or uh, proficient with.
And I task you with generating that type of ranking system and make it so that we will be able to use it. If you need any specific technology or tools to help you, let me know.
Still love to get my ship back. With that, I am most familiar with that technology particularly, though I have been able to experiment and learn some of what is here at the vein, though
Oh,
I would not be as efficient with it.
I don't know if this will help, but I do have I've dabbled in energy and particle psych. I don't know if that would come in handy to help.
With the
What
development of different technologies, I'm sure that it can.
I would be classifying ourselves as well, because we can also see at that point, as we better know ourselves, we will better know how to defend
Yeah,
ourselves and to combat against others,
I
to
just need
where
to
if
know.
there is a potential fatality risk,
I
that
just
we
need to
may
know
be
how
able
much
to.
amps I should use.
If it is a normal human, I would not go anything more than 1/3 of 1 amp. That is the standard. Through archaic methods in the past here on Earth, there have been those who have established those ranks and those levels. Though people that are weaker may be more susceptible or less susceptible, that is the average. However, when we come into superhumans, it can go either way. There are some that may have weaknesses to specific elements or energies, yet resilient or even immune to others also, rather than just a all-encompassing vulnerability or invulnerability.
I've just never killed anybody before.
It
Are
is
you all
not
right,
something.
Shone?
Excuse me?
Are you all right, Shone?
Yeah, I think so. I just thought he was knocked out, and I didn't realize I had killed him.
As did
Though,
we all.
though I believe, and it does weigh on my conscience to a bit. I attributed. We killed him.
I
You
was
did not. Regardless of who may have pushed him past that point, both you and I did it. Because one attack or the other may or may not have done it in itself. We have no idea to tell that. We cannot turn back the hands of time to be able to experiment to figure out whether or not the lethality of your power was enough to kill him in its solo right, or if it was only attributing to the contribution of mine. So,
okay.
with that, please allow me to take some of the responsibility. Do not put this all on yourself.
Okay.
I agree. We are a team, and it is a team effort. The ups and downs.
And you can hear some heels clicking on the metal floor, walking into the vein.
Before turning around, I say, "Welcome, Ms. McCall," as I then turn to look.
Hyperion. The heck of a stunt you guys pulled off today.
Could have gone a lot worse.
I'll agree with you there.
Do you have any news about the slaves they were shipping outside of Fairside?
Unfortunately, I do. Minuteman's group was a little late getting there, unfortunately. Given the circumstances of the events, they were short-handed. We can, of course, blame the local government for that mess. You did everything that you could. The fact that you even picked up on this is a godsend, and I'm a little disgusted to share this with the rest of you. And she throws down a manila folder.
Go
I'll
up to
pick
it,
it up
open
and
it up.
open it.
She says, so I had someone poke around to see what they could find out. And those people, as far as we can tell, the ones that you spotted on that train, it looks like they left the United States somewhere in California shortly thereafter.
Where
Going
to?
off of the coast or
Correct.
southern by land?
No, off of the coast. And
Do we know if they were deviants or humans?
It's my hunch that they are.
Deviants.
Yes. And my hunches are rarely wrong. If this is what I'm thinking it is, and it would explain a lot of Blackout's monetary might, she throws up a map on the screen, and it is of a small island country off of the island chain of the Philippines. She says, you're looking at Senia. Senia is, for lack of a better word, blackballed by most of the world.
So are we going after these people?
Given the fact that it's an international issue, I would not advise it at this point in time. I'm simply trying to give you some perspective as to what was happening.
Why exactly is it blackballed, as you say?
Good question. She says, in the long and short of it, the primary the primary reason the country is the way it is right now, and she pulls up, travel brochures and pictures of it, and it sparkling, travel destination sort of thing, like it looks fantastic. And she says, what you don't see in those pictures are the deviants who help make all of that what it is.
In what way?
Slavery?
Slavery.
Slavery to do what? Exactly.
To mine, to power the country, anything it is that they need. And that's the reason why the United Nations has largely put embargoes on that country, and they were actually disinvited from the Olympics. 92 to be specific. What the world, most of the world doesn't understand is that they are the single largest holder of Drixvium, which is a super hard alloy that is far superior to any kind of steel or iron that you might be aware of. And that is
that like this our world's equivalent of like adamantium?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's a metal that ironically is needed by countries such as the United States, Russia, Great Britain, China, and Japan, as it is used primarily to create things such as the inhibitor collars, the hoplite suits, and so on and so forth. Since it is super resilient to most powers, and its tectonics are as such, or I should say its alloy is as such, that it is not something that can be readily bent by even some of the strongest of individuals. It is highly sought after, and it is why that nobody has done much against that nation. They don't. Everyone needs to have their flow of that particular metal. To lose it is to take a severe step back in the private arms race that is going on throughout the world.
Why, from a scientific standpoint, is this element available in other areas in the region, or is it specific only to this island? It seems
Specific only
odd.
to this island.
Have they realized why? Because on Earth, I'm not a geologist, but in my studies, I have seen that most elements are in some fashion across the world, where in other areas or specific geological conditions, there is significantly more in areas of such as gold or coal.
Mm-hmm.
But have they determined why this is only there?
It's a highly guarded secret.
One possibility would be that it came here from an extraterrestrial source, such as a meteor impact long ago.
I couldn't honestly say. That's as good a guess as any.
So besides Blackout exporting deviant slaves to this country, what do we know about his association with it?
Beyond that, that's all we know. But it would explain why exactly
Was it all
his
monetary?
correct, and why exactly he was in Fairside to begin with.
Hmm.
You're in a place where all the deviants are being driven to, hovels, and he's giving them the only quote unquote means out, presumably. No one's going to miss a few here and there that go missing, and nobody in the town of Strongford is going to say anything because they weren't really citizens by most of their standards anyways.
would seem
We
to
know
defend against this type of trafficking, that we would then need to actually bolster the social prowess of at least Strongford in order to prevent this type of human slavery.
It's obviously a much bigger problem than just the country itself.
I'm curious also, thinking of different ways. And aside from the atrocities, and which would be primarily why something would need to be done, of course, because of the human atrocities or deviant atrocities, is if this element is from off planet. I once again, and I apologize for my self-focus, but my ship would be able to, if I had a sample, I could run a cross-reference in my alien database that may be able to tell of planets with a higher concentration of this element, to where we could potentially create a trade agreement with these other planets, or to eliminate the need for this illegal atrocity here on Earth, or be able to defend against it. I'm just thinking of other small options that may inadvertently, if we had another source, then their business would be useless.
And I'm not saying that you're not raising good points. What I am saying is, do you want to go down that rabbit hole? What we do know is whoever took that ship out from under the United States government clearly has power and means beyond what the United States government was ready for.
Is she speaking about my ship?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's right. We had heard rumor that somebody had taken it, right?
Yep.
We don't
Even
know who,
saw
though.
footage that it was taken.
And I'm the only one that would have any, that I know of, that has any access or would know how to access any of the data in there.
Perhaps.
That I'm the only one, like, because of the physical interface that's needed.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
So this could be a problem. There is a lot of information on my ship, primarily biology, but that can be detrimental in many aspects to the inhabitants of this planet. I have done much study here on Earth as well as on other planets in my time, that these experiments and studies that I have done could indirectly be weaponized.
Do you
That would
have an
target.
idea where they took it?
I have no idea, only that it has been taken.
Is there a way to track it?
Not through what I have now. I do not have any of my technology. The only way I would be able to track it would be if I were to be able to get in contact with my home world.
And are you able to contact your homeworld?
Unfortunately, at this time, no.
He
And
would
I am
need
not.
the technology on his ship to do that.
I could reach out. To simplify, it would be almost like the radio signals from a cell phone or a walkie-talkie, but my technology is much more advanced, and yet it still takes some time to travel the many light years to my planet for me to communicate with my home, or rather my other home. It
We
is
will locate your
possible that
ship at some point. It will just take time.
Do we think these two matters are related?
I would not be surprised if they are.
What matters are you referring to? Are you referring to your ship and this issue with Senia? No. I don't think that they're related.
Okay, well, at least there's that. Or,
Directly,
I don't
anyway.
know if that's good or bad news.
And we don't have anybody who could find out where his ship is?
That would cost quite a bit. But it is possible.
Does
Is
the
it
United
worth the
States,
cost?
does the United States
I will leave that up to the rest of you. Like I said, that if that's a rabbit hole that you wish to explore, it is something we can do. It's going to cost quite a bit.
does the United States government, are they aware of my connection to the ship? They are aware of me, I know now.
I don't know.
I wonder if through our connections now, if we would be able to find that out.
You want to trust the United States government with
No.
your information?
No, I think he's wanting to find out if they have any information on him.
If they have time.
That's what I'm getting at. If you were trying, you're asking to open doors that you may not be ready to open.
I wonder if we would be able to find out indirectly through, does the what's the company we're working for, or the agency we're working for right now?
Aegis.
Aegis Foundation.
I wonder if anyone from the Aegis Foundation has any connections within that level of the government that would be able to just simply ask if they know of the origin of the ship or any ties with anyone here.
I'm sure you could actually take that up with Mr. Danvers if you'd like. I couldn't say if he does or if he doesn't. But you have to understand that ship was a secret. So if they start asking about it, it's going to raise questions.
Out of character, how did we see footage of it being taken? Who did that come from?
Covertly from Miss McCall.
Oh, so
She hired a ninja to find out what they
Midnight X.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Donatello? Raphael, perhaps?
Raphael, because he has the trench coat and the
No, more like
fedora.
what soldiers.
Right. Yeah.
I have a bad feeling that the longer my ship is in the custody of others, the sharper the teeth are that will come to bite us when the repercussions manifest.
Yeah, because I feel it's important that we recover his ship.
It is important. The problem is our ability to accomplish this seems to be severely lacking.
So what do we need
You know
to
not
do?
who we are dealing with.
So what do we need to do to accomplish this?
We need to develop ourselves so that we become capable, so that we can obtain more funding to, through Ms. McCall, hopefully, pull strings, ask questions in ways that won't raise alarm, and at the same time, keep our eyes and ears open for any other clues that would let us know where his ship may be. From the footage we saw that it may have been literally teleported out of the bay where it was. Perhaps one day we may be able to clandestinely go to that location and study it for any clues as far as where it went. Or perhaps we can find some other organization that is actually trying to keep that technology. It is possible that Reichshield and his cronies have that technology. We're unsure. We have seen them use teleportation, but not to the scale that it could actually take an entire ship.
Yeah, that would take a lot. I mean, really a lot. I'm not even sure that my abilities could do that.
Perhaps maybe tech that is also involved. The one
Meanwhile,
good
in the other room.
the saving grace is
Oh well.
the one
Sorry, I
saving
felt that
grace
that needed a moment of levity.
Yeah.
Does your ship, I mean, is it made out of organic material like you are?
No, but it interfaces with me.
So a part
Specifically,
of you would
you
be
would
in the
not be
ship.
able to. I am not aware of any way, even with my biological research and knowledge, of how anyone here, with the exception of perhaps Hyperion, with his technological skills, for any of you to interface or pilot my vessel, let alone control to any degree of efficiency.
Then
The one
perhaps
thing the one thing that is good about it though is there is very minimal, and it's very very superficial, it just very minor uh, weaponry on that ship. It is merely a research vessel. There is the least of our weapon technology on it. It
I'm
would be
wondering if
like
me and Empyrean could maybe get together and maybe work on an interface.
it is possible, but there is no way for me to reach out to it without being there and having some of my tools
Well,
or
I'm wondering
accessories.
if it's got any traces of your makeup. Could we use that as a tracker? And
I have not.
she's actually asking both of you guys.
I suppose there is a possibility. I'm sure my what would effectively be my equivalency of DNA, though it is not the same DNA that, or is it made up the same way as the average Earth creature? There may be some sort of biological tracking capability, but none that I am currently aware of. Although I
tracking
would be willing to sacrifice a small sample of myself to intrigue those theories and possibilities.
tracking organic compounds at that range, assuming that this is far or hidden or even armored within a building or underground, would be extremely difficult. The technology necessary, I don't believe technically exists yet. That
So
is not
It
to
would
say
be,
we couldn't
it would be
create.
short range at best at this point.
I have one question then. So is Area 51 real or is that just for movie stuff?
This is apparently where they were holding his ship. Therefore, it is a real location.
So they took it from this location and placed it somewhere else. Do we know if there's other black sites?
We don't seem to be privy to that information.
Is it something
They
that Miss Maxwell
probably
could
do
find out?
exist.
My time
What are
here
your
on this planet, where they have one that has been all but confirmed to the general populace, there is more than likely others. However, they have probably learned from their mistakes, in this case of Area 51 and area areas 52 and 53 and 54, to be somewhat sarcastic, would be more significantly and betterly guarded. Or perhaps even Area 51 is the scapegoat, so to speak.
So Jerome, out of character, since she's been to Earth many times, and before this, is there a way that she might know some of the world history?
World history, how?
Well, because the Antarctic, there's been rumors that there's a black site there under the ice and stuff like that. Would she have come across that kind of information?
Probably not, given the fact that that's super tropey, and that's not necessarily something that a lot of people, especially in this particular era, in the 90s, there's no social media really or anything of that nature. That stuff doesn't readily get shared. With people, it's still very, very fringe.
Because I know that the Germans had something up there in the Antarctic, because they were trying to build pretty much a UFO.
Yeah,
Could
so
we,
go ahead.
check the tabloids?
Chase,
Believe the tabloids to be an effective means of gathering information?
Generally, no, but this is just fringe enough. I think somebody might have seen something. And
There's the difference between fringe and fabricated completely.
as they say, a broken clock is right twice a day.
I've been told that there's always an inch of truth in everything someone says.
True.
This
However,
sort of case would sound far-fetched to any normal citizen, but if we see anything that sounds like the truth, then it could be worth following up on.
And with that, we'll go ahead and pause for tonight. We're coming up on 3 hours at this point.
That's our final thought for the night. Is let's read the tabloids.
tabloids.
Yep.
Okay.
The movie MIB has not come out yet.
Right.
Yeah, Men in Black. Yeah.
Coincidentally, some of those tabloids were actually started as trying to be investigative journalists, which I can say a lot more than more common journalism. Granted, they probably take any story they hear and run with it, but
right.
Yep. So,
Sean's just surprised that Star Trek isn't real.
Who wants to roll for karma?
What am I rolling?
It is a D10. I think we did what, times 50?
Okay, here we go. 10.
Woohoo.
So 10 times 50.
500.
500.
Is that each or is that collective?
That's each.
I forget. Each. Okay. Yay, we got 615.
Yay.
Did you say that was 500?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was 50. Okay.
Well, it's 50 times the roll.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh.
So 50 times 10.
Gotcha.
I think I'm going to keep this dice to roll with. Man, that was a good one.
all right. So I have a question since we are done with this part tonight.
Okay.
To take strength from 10 to 20, how many points would that be?
You have to go up both steps. So you would need to go from a 10, or you said from what to what?
It'd be from a 10 to a 20.
10 to 20? Yeah, so that's going to be that would be 2,000.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm nowhere near that.
I was near that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to kill him.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't
And
either.
Is
That
it
Yep.
stinks.
Even although he's not here, even Davy Jones was like, "Ow, I remember that from the books."
and from
Yeah.
and from 20 to 30 that would be 3,000, right?
Yep.
They can kill us all they want.
Okay.
But
That's
we
what
can't
makes
get
But
them
they're
right
not earning
back.
karma.
exactly. That's what makes them bad guys.
I guess that's true.
It's,
I mean, I
it's
didn't
the
have
new
much
score
karma.
times 100, correct?
Yeah.
What's that?
The new score or the new rank times 100, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, when we bank, like just, I mean, for instance, like say I wanted to bank this 500,
Mm-hmm.
right? Do I have to specify which, like, do I have to say I am putting this towards my limited phasing ability?
Yeah. That's literally what the rules say. That's how you bank it.
Oh, okay.
So like if you're
Now,
working
can I
out and
bank
you're
in
trying to get
multiple
your strength
spots?
up or something, then you're banking X amount of points for, a bump in strength.
Okay. So could I, in theory, can I have multiple accounts?
No.
Only for one stat at a time.
Or one thing at a time, yeah.
If
Right?
you didn't,
One stat or one ability at a time.
Yeah.
And then, so basically, we can only have a maximum of 2 accounts. We have our savings banked account and then our fluid account.
Yep.
the checking,
Huh?
The only yeah.
It's checking, yeah.
The only way you'd have 3 is if you had a karma pool.
Oh, okay.
Because then
yeah.
you would have a karma pool, which everybody puts into. Then you would have a bank if you were banking some person.
private account for
Yep.
yourself, and then okay.
So do we have a
I
karma pool
thought
going already?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Do we have a karma pool already
Nope.
going?
I
Maybe we should do that.
thought your explanation was either it goes into a group pool or it's an individual pool.
That's
And
what I
that's it.
That
That's what I thought.
if you aren't banking it, then yes, that's the way it
I don't
works.
remember anything about
Yeah.
a bank.
Yeah.
It was very brief when we went through like the bank because we were focusing on the group pool or not, and that was like
Because
our
that was the
contention.
big discussion was, whether
Yeah.
you guys wanted to do it or not. Yeah.
So
Okay.
how much is it to gain a new talent?
100?
To learn 100?
Yeah. Some of that stuff is still pretty cheap.
Okay. And what about powers to make your powers a little bit stronger?
It's 100 times the current rank.
So, would it be a power stunt for me to start incorporating color in my?
It would be, yes.
So that would be a power stunt, not a new ability.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can adjust my. I would be honing my finite duplication because what I'll end up doing is trying to practice with like one or multiples of us, like, and have like a fingerprint or even a retinal scan to where if I know that person or I'm able to touch that person's hand, I can mimic their fingerprint, so to speak.
That's not color shifting though.
I know, but that's my shape manipulation. That's my phasing ability.
Well,
So that would be
your phasing ability allows you to go through things. That's not the same thing.
so what you're saying, but it's a limited phasing ability because I'm not really going through things. I'm just manipulating my body to where I'm like liquefying and flowing through it.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
There has to be gaps in it. I can't go through a solid object.
That is correct.
Right? Now I could go through a porous object.
Yep.
It might take me a long time, but whereas if there's a crack in the door, like that, then I just kind of
Yep.
Yeah,
your limited
Right.
phasing allows you to go through, so long as there's a little crack or there's some sort of break in the seal or something, it allows you to go through.
Right. So what would that be a new ability by like manipulation of myself like that,
To do what?
to mimic a human or someone specifically?
That would be a brand new power.
What would we call that?
Mimic.
Mimic? Because then I would incorporate, that would be incorporating, would mimic then would Mimic end up incorporating the power stunt of the color manipulation?
It could, yeah.
I'm purchasing Mimic then, basically.
Okay, so you would have Mimic then at a feeble 2. You need to burn 200 points.
For primary abilities, how much are those again?
Same thing as powers. So it's next rank times 100.
Next rank times 100. Okay.
Yep.
I want to bank at least 300 of my XP.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Freddy loses no sleep over the death of a villain, considering his past.
We're just a big old team of anti-heroes now at this point, rather than superheroes.
Well, it is the 90s.
Yeah.
I'm gonna swap my jacket.
I'm sorry. What'd you say, Brittany?
I'm gonna swap my jacket for a trench coat.
Yeah.
Okay, Gambit.
No, a black one.
Oh, all right.
We're anti-heroes.
Okay,
gotcha.
Punisher.
Blade.
Or Blade, yeah, that works too.
I'll go with Gambit.
I do like Gambit. He's
I know you do. That's why I said him.
my top tier. Question. So it doesn't say anything about illusion casting involving sound. I'm guessing it does not involve sound.
It does not. Correct.
Is there a way that I could incorporate sound to them?
You don't really have any sound-based powers to do so.
I don't, but I do have a talent in acoustics, of all things. It was just that random roll.
You could certainly you could probably develop a new power based off that because of your understanding of acoustics.
And then I'd probably have to do a stunt to combine them.
It wouldn't be a stunt, it would be a brand new power.
You'd just be using like two powers. You'd be like projecting sound or something at the same time that you're using your illusion cast.
Yep. Well, another time perhaps.
The plasma was easy based off of genetics and my pearl, which apparently is now eating.
Yeah,
that's not good. We got to figure that out.
Are you going to tell anyone about that?
I was going to ask about that.
Because we don't know about the pearl, do we?
Mm-mm.
Not what it's doing, no.
No, like we don't know that it's a thing that he does.
You know that he's protective of the pearl.
Yeah, like it
So we
exists.
do know-
Yeah, he clutches his pearl.
My precious.
So we know that he has a pearl. Do we know that his powers come from a pearl?
He's over there like.
We just know that he has this thing.
Yep, just know he has it.
So it's a sentimental trinket.
Yep.
So far.
Yeah, he's keeping it on the down low right now.
Okay. So FYI, Jerome,
Mm-hmm.
Mimic spent the 200. My other 300 out of that 500 is banked towards Mimic.
Okay.
Because if I wanted to spend and only have 5 karma left at all, like in its entirety, I could technically take it to a poor right now, but I don't want to totally deplete myself.
That's fine.
On a little bit. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, mine's going towards travel, my teleport.
Okay.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pick up a resistance to the pearl itself. Like resist energy or resist vampirism. Because that's essentially what it's doing. And that might be something I might have to do.
Well, it's going to take a pretty good explanation as to how you could come about that, considering you're not a magic character.
Yeah. And we don't know exactly what it's actually doing to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and call it there. Thanks for all who tuned in and watched. And we'll get the upload done here soon. And we will play again on the 19th.
which I may or may not be here.
I will not. I will be out of town.
Okay, well, we will figure something out then. And play it by ear.
Okay.
And if Brittany can't make it, then maybe we'll cancel or something, so. All right, so other than that, good night. I hope you guys have a good night.
Good work,
Good
guys.
night.
Good night. Cancel the stream.